Howdy y'all, Joe Hills here, recording as I always do in Nashville, Tennessee, and let's pretend that you have just emerged here and you see the drawbridge has closed. Well, that's good, you're now terrified, you're trapped in here, but there's a lot of visual and aesthetic improvements that we can make to our drawbridge. So let me go ahead and grab some of these ender pearls. We can just pop our way over that way. And, I was thinking about this a little bit after finishing the mechanisms involved in the drawbridge, and there is no limit to what we could do to improve it visually. So the first aesthetic improvement I want to make here is going to be to put half slabs across the top of this. Now, this is going to be flush with the top of where the brown concrete powder ended up anyway, but this way mobs can't spawn on top of the brown concrete powder, and it'll, keep everything a little bit safer. I also need to wipe out some of these little arrow slit things, I don't know, whatever these are called, battlements. We need to clear these out so that people don't trip on them. They don't look right when they're all messed up like that. So we can just kind of come in like this. And I was thinking about it, and we're going to have to add at least one more block of kind of across from here to here, because crenellations, they're, whoa, serious business. Dang it. Probably need to put more ladders in as well, Always room for improvement. But yeah, we'll get the walkway across here straightened out, and it'll actually be pretty symmetrical when we're done with it, I think. So that's good. That's an improvement. Now I'm not going to put the half slabs in on that third line there yet. Not only because our ladder is here, but because this row will eventually be crenellated. So we don't want the half slabs. We want the stone brick stairs. But it's not time for that quite yet. We have successfully encapsulated our bridge building mechanism by adding this roof here and a back wall here. Now, this isn't the flashiest thing in the world, but it does functionally work without really breaking anything the way it's set up in the map, which I appreciate. Now, I was thinking about this the other day. There's got to be a good way to get rid of this drawbridge when that one is created. So let's go ahead and ender pearl over to that tree and take a look at this, right? So from here, it just looks like the drawbridge is closed. But when we ender pearl to, the path here, it becomes pretty obvious, okay, there's two drawbridges now. We were supposed to have one drawbridge that closed, and instead we've doubled our drawbridge quantity. Now, we don't really want to do that. So the question is, how do we get rid of this drawbridge when we deploy that drawbridge? The answer is proper signage. I realized if I made about 190 of these signs and then put concrete powder on top of them, then had a piston mechanism to destroy the signs, I could basically solve this entire problem. Now, how would that work exactly? So I've got 190 signs set up, and I've started deploying the brown concrete powder across there that'd be necessary to make this work. Hey, buddy, you stealing my torches? You know what I do to people who steal torches? I come down here and I explain how machines work near them. Look at how this machine works. We've got a single piston that all of those signs link back up to, back there. And what'll happen is, when we push that piston, or that block attached to that piston, one single segment over, all 190 of these signs will pop out, which will then cause all of that brown concrete powder to fall, which will make it look like our drawbridge opened up. Now, it's going to just fall to the bottom of here, which is not really deep enough yet. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some time off camera and just dig this out way deeper, so that even though we don't have any fancy collecting mechanism yet, just the blocks being down there will basically leave them out of sight. Because, I can't drop them down this high and have people not notice, didn't your drawbridge just fall 3 blocks? No, our drawbridge needs to fall into a massive pit, which, we can do elevation-wise. We're actually pretty high up here. Just to give you a sense of, I built this on top of a hill, kind of, here. So if you see how high this is here, we can go way down there under the water. Except, it won't be underwater. But yeah, this whole area here can be dug way the heck out. We've got plenty of room for that. So, then we just drop our brown concrete powder from our drawbridge all the way down to the bottom of that. And that way, if a hero... dang it. This flying around thing is kind of troublesome sometimes. That way, if, our heroes or our adventurers are up on this corner here, like I said, they're not going to be able to see the drawbridge from inside the castle, but if they get up on the walls here, I think they should be able to look down there and just see a pit. The drawbridge is actually gone. It's closed. They are trapped. And, you know, that'd be nice. Anyway, time skip. So what we have now is a brown concrete powder drawbridge that can now fall directly down into this pit here. Now, this pit is okay. I started digging this out, but it's not exactly where I'd like it. In fact, when I started digging out this way, I actually discovered that there's like this whole little like cave down here. Okay. And now we're going to get killed by a spider. And get shot at by skeletons and stuff. But anyway, so this whole cave here is like approximately how I should have done this thing. Okay, use the water, dang it. Okay. So in terms of like planning, every part of this was clearly poorly thought out. And so then that got me thinking like, well, if I'm going to think everything out this poorly, how could I make things even more potentially explosive? So I started taking some of these TNTs here, and I was thinking what I would do is use these stone slabs and just kind of set up a kind of 3-deep kind of pillar here of TNT. And I figure as long as I don't actually screw this up and die, that on the whole this will be more effective than any other means I could use to, dang it. It'll be more effective than any other means that I could traditionally use to excavate this. Like, you know, I thought about, like, I could rent a beacon, but why would I when I could place pressure plates, right? So we're going to come all the way back to here. We're just going to run straight across here. And then we'll run backwards, because we can see it blow up then. Ta-da! Even better trench. So, I mean, this is way better than it was, and it's not as good as it will yet be, because I've got more gunpowder and I've got more sand. So, it's just a process of, you know, getting to a crafting bench, which, dang it, should have been relatively trivial, because there's crafting benches up there, dang it. Flight skip. It seems like from doing this so far, planting these about 3 deep is about where it works out best. And having these be about 4 apart from each other also is about right. Now, what I really ideally want to do is have this be a fairly irregular pit when it's done. So, it really isn't a bad thing if these aren't exactly perfect in relation to each other. Alrighty, so I've got the pressure plates placed, and we are just going to run through and trigger all of these in order. Whoa. And, ta-da! This is looking even better. And I didn't have to do that much digging, you know? That seems like the good way to do it. So, I figure a few more passes like this, and we'll be in pretty good shape. Well, I gotta say, this whole little trench here is definitely more trenchant, but, you know, we actually theoretically need to have this whole thing have a giant trench around it. I've built out this cliff side here, but, you know, not much of a trench. So, might even be worth, you know, coming through here, like so, and starting to put in some of these TNTs down here as well, just as a thought. I mean, I don't know, maybe it's a little bit of overkill, but sometimes when you're playing with TNT, it's hard to appreciate the real power that you're working with, and, you know, so then you start getting a little bit cocky, adding 4 stacks of TNT, placing pressure plates down sooner than the, you know, separate step to wire everything up, because, you know, it's nice to have a separate step to wire everything up, but what if you screw it up later? You know, nobody wants that. So, anyway, we're just going to come through here and haphazardly experience the joy of demolition work. I feel like the best way to do this would probably be to try to time it so I can do an entire run where I start there and just run straight down into this trench, and then I have a bunch of TNT blow up, right? Like that. That seems to make sense to me. Well, I think a sheep stepped on one of those platforms back there. Let's go see how that went, because, you know, it's safe now, except for the sheep. Well, it wasn't this one. Okay, well, good job, sheep. We are gonna have to patch this up. That's okay, we got plenty of stone. We can patch all this stuff up. This'll be fine. You know, this was intended to be patched up later anyway. Just hadn't gotten to it, you know, that sort of thing. Oh, hey, that one didn't get triggered, though. So what we're going to do real quick is we're going to set that off and stand a safe distance away. Okay, yeah, we're going to have to patch that wall a bit, too. But that's fine. So, let's see here. We're about to start having mobs spawning. So let's go ahead and just wrap up. Let's go ahead and get this one, and then this one. Just place the thing as we go. Oh, that one already was there. I'm falling through it. Okay. Yeah. Easy as pie. Which is good, because I'm recording this on Pie Day. Which, like that Rebecca Black song. Pie Day, everybody get down on Pie Day. I think that's how it goes. Woo. Dang it, I was trying to soar over and capture the explosion, but, you know, sometimes life comes at you fast. Look at this, though. This is a good chasm. We didn't have a chasm like this before, and now we do. So, I am enjoying that. And this way now. Yeah, look at this. We're just busting up chasms everywhere. It's a good day for chasm development, and we're gonna soon bust right into that. And that's gonna actually be super easy because that's mostly dug, right? So like we just throw this here. Run. And then hopefully that should just pop straight into there. Excellent. So now that's more exposed to the sky without a ton of digging. Saving me a lot of work. You know, speaking of saving me a lot of work, the whole point of this, though, was to really especially deepen the chasm underneath where the bridge was. And we've gotten started on that, but I don't know if we've done as much as I was hoping to. So let's go ahead and set this up like so. So we're going to run across. And this way, and look back. Yeah, bit by bit. It's happening. We are making it happen. Like a series of sea captains that are, I was going to say cooperating, but that's like cooperating and rafting together, and sea captains don't go rafting, as that's more of a, like, small freshwater stream sport, so, I don't know. We'll sort this out somehow. Anyway, core concept, we have a space for this to fall into now, but we can't end this episode without actually triggering the mechanism. So I don't have a great mechanism in place to actually observe the bridge falling out. At least not the way it's set up now. So I was thinking I might just punch a picture window hole in here for the time being. Oh. Well, that's a little bit more of a trap door and a little less of a picture window. But door concept, I wanted to be able to see this thing actually, like, collapse from somewhere that I could trigger it. So, whoops. Looks like I've actually just triggered it. Wait, did that not move the sign that was attached to that? Oh, maybe I'd have to have it punch through the sign. Okay, well that's actually a good piece of information for me to have. Let's pop down here so we can see this a little better, and then I am going to just destroy the sign by hand. Whoa. So as you can see, the entire drawbridge just falls all the way down in there. Now, if I had that whole area down in there filled with dirt and stuff anyway, it actually wouldn't be super obvious that that's what happened. Or, like, I mean, we don't need a fancy collector for this. Now, at the moment, I actually do want to get all those 190 signs back because they're expensive and hard. They take time to make. I mean, they're not super expensive, but, you know, they do take time to make. But, yeah, this is a viable way to do this. We have a proof of concept that I think is, you know, pretty alright. So, chicken, you can go over there. More signs, you can come be picked up. This is going to take a while to reset every time we do it. But, once again, this is a game that takes, like, 5 to 8 hours to really run properly. So, spending an extra 10 minutes setting up the drawbridge each time is going to be okay. Dang it. we need to get out of here so we can actually unload some of this stuff. Dang it. Thank you, Elytra. Well, until next time, y'all, this is Joe Hills from Nashville, Tennessee. Keep adventuring.